Can everyone turn their cameras on? Okay. Oh, I just bring, okay. So, okay. So we're good now? Ebony, are we ready? Angela, can you hear me?
Yes, Jill, I can hear you.
Okay.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
The DD Council is on mute. Hold on.
Hey, Jill, if you want to go ahead and get started, Christy's here, but I think she had to go to the restroom real quick. So if you want to get started until she comes, you can.
Okay, well, okay, good morning, everyone. The time is 9:54 a.m. And the quarterly meeting of the I'm reading a book, not reading the script word for word. The quarterly meeting of the DD Council will come to order, and Christy's here. Yay!
Barely. I don't know how y'all do.
All right, so Ebony, will you please call the roll?
Yes, when they call your name, just say present. Miss Jill Hano,
Here.
Miss Angela Harmon,
Present.
Miss Renata Washington,
Present.
Miss Brooke Stewart,
Present.
great, and Miss Christy Gonzalez.
Present.
That's all 5 members.
Okay, whew, barely. Sorry about my lateness. I called when about 8:10 to let you know I was stuck on the, before the bridge in Lawndale. It's taken me 40 minutes to get here. Good morning, everybody. At this time, we will have Miss Ebony Haven read the mission statement and the ground rules. Thanks, Jill.
The mission of the Louisiana Developmental Disabilities Council is to increase independence, self-determination, productivity, integration, and inclusion for Louisianians with developmental disabilities by engaging in advocacy, capacity building, and systems change. The Louisiana Developmental Disabilities Council's ground rules are: members must be recognized by the chair before speaking, be respectful of each other's opinions, break for 10 minutes every 1.5 hours, discuss council business in a responsible manner, except as necessary, restrict the use of electronic communication, i.e. texting, during council and committee meetings, silence or turn off all cell phones, Mission statement is posted at every meeting. Be on time for meetings, no alphabet. Side conversations are kept to a minimum, done quietly and restricted to the subject at hand.
Thank you, Ebony. At this time, I will read you the virtual meeting protocols. For committee members and members of the public attending in person, please raise your hand to speak and wait to be recognized by the chair before speaking. To help the meeting run smoothly, please keep side conversations to a minimum and comments related to the topic we are discussing. For those committee members who are attending virtually, remember you must be on camera and have your first and last name showing to be counted toward our quorum. Please keep microphones muted unless called upon by the chair. Electronically raise your hand to request to speak and wait to be called on by the chair. For attendees, electronically raise your hand to request to speak. Once recognized by the chair, your microphone will be turned on. After speaking, the microphone will be returned to mute. Also, the question and answer is only to be used by those needing ADA accommodations to participate in the meeting. Public comment will not be accepted via the Q&A except for those individuals who request the accommodation. As per order, committee members in person and virtually will be allowed to speak first. Public members in person will then be called on, followed by public participating virtually who have their hands raised. Comments in the Q&A and chat will be addressed last. As with all hybrid meetings, it can be difficult to keep track of all those wanting to speak in person and virtually. Please be patient. All comments and questions from committee members and the public may be limited should we run into time constraints, so please keep that in mind. Also, comments about a person's character will not be allowed. Finally, members of the public will have the opportunity to provide public comment before each vote and during designated public comment periods. Public members will be given one opportunity to speak for each agenda item and will be limited to 2 minutes. The chair may also use their discretion to determine if comments will be accepted outside of those times. To ensure the meeting runs smoothly and that we all participate in an orderly manner, the committees to consider that's included in your, I'm missing. Probably even numbers. To ensure that the meeting runs smoothly, please adhere to these rules, right? The next item of business is the approval of the meeting summary for the July 17th Executive Committee meeting, which was distributed. The meeting summary will not be read unless requested by a member. Are there any corrections? If there is no objection, the meeting summary is approved as distributed. Hearing none, the meeting summary is approved. The next item of business is the 2027 mission statement. 27 to the 2031 mission statement as part of the 5-year state plan development process that the council will approve at the July meeting. We will consider a new mission statement for the for 2027 to 2031. The council staff has submitted a recommendation for the committee to consider. It's included in your packet. Since the council is working on redesigning the council website, including working on plain language documents, the council staff has suggested a statement that incorporates clearer, more accessible language. Please take a few minutes to read over the statement. I will now entertain a motion regarding the recommendation for the 2027-2031 mission statement.
I'll make a motion.
And we need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Who was that?
Jill.
Jill and.
Jill.
And Brooke, okay. So,
But Ebony, I have a question.
go ahead, Jill.
Nicole is not allowed.
She, just hold it for a second, let Christy repeat the motion, and then you can.
Okay,
All right, the motion is regarding us recommending the new mission statement for the 2027-2031 year. Is there any discussion from the committee members?
Jill.
Jill?
so. Does this not go into effect till 2027? Cause we just updated our bylaws with and I don't think it's that different, but we just updated the bylaws with a slightly different mission statement. So how does that work?
So if I remember correctly, when you guys updated the mission statement for the last 5-year plan, the current 5-year plan that we're in, whenever the executive committee and full council approved it, that was the mission statement. So you guys have given me permission to make those minor changes to the bylaws and to the policies and procedures, those technical changes. So this will be a technical change, if I'm correct. Nicole,
Okay.
please correct me if I'm not, that's correct.
That sounds familiar. Okay, thanks, Ebony and Nicole.
Are there any public comments?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, sorry.
I'm just wondering if at the end, when you said and be fully included, if that should say how it should be fully included, as in like fully included as members of society, as citizens. Because it just says and be fully included. Or as Louisiana citizens.
So at the end of the recommendation, sorry.
I had the same
Sorry.
thing.
Thank
I feel like it needs something after that.
Some more specification.
We have another Christie.
Oh, go ahead, Lily.
So I think it's not a bad thing that it's vague, that way it covers more, because if you're too specific, it can leave room for discrimination in other areas. Like, we can be fully included as a citizen, but not be included in society. And we can be included in society, but not have the proper accommodations to succeed.
So. Would y'all wanna? Would it be like as a Louisiana citizen and in society? Or you wanna just,
I mean, I don't know if you wanna outline every, because we want to be fully included in every capacity and like everything, not just certain aspects.
Maybe and be fully included in all aspects of.
Community living.
Yeah.
go ahead, Brittany. So to be fully included in all aspects of community living?
That would have to come from your committee though.
Yeah.
Right. That's okay. So, because I want to change it.
So we have to make another motion. So we would need to have an amendment to include, instead of just saying and be fully included, we would add to be fully included in all aspects of community living. Is there any objection to this amendment? So we good, okay, so now we need to make a motion to accept it.
Just. If there any discussion, it's not put it to.
Okay, is there any other discussion about the wording on the mission statement? Okay,
Go back to the screen.
we're ready for the question? So the question is on us accepting the amended mission statement, correct? And I'll read it out loud. So it would be to help Louisianans with intellectual and developmental disabilities live more independently, make their own choices, be more productive, and be fully included in all aspects of community living. When Ebony calls your name, please respond with yes if you are in favor of the motion. No if you're opposed to the motion, or abstain if you are not voting. Ebony?
Ms. Jill Hano,
Yes.
Ms. Jill Hano, yes. Ms. Angela Harmon,
Yes.
Ms. Angela Harmon, yes. Ms. Brooke Stewart,
Yes.
Ms. Brooke Stewart, yes. Ms. Renata Washington,
Yes.
Ms. Renata Washington, yes. That's 4 yeas, no, 0 nays.
All right, the yes votes have it and the motion is adopted. All right. The next item is the consideration of position papers for the new 2027 to 31 state plan. The chair recognizes Stephanie to start the discussion. Stephanie?
Good morning. I have gone through the council's position on, for these areas. I don't know if we want to go through each one independently, or if you want me to just kind of talk about them overall. Christy, what do you think?
I would say we just go over them unless somebody has a question.
Okay.
Because just in case, because I don't know, committee, what do y'all think?
I can kind of
Overall.
Overall?
Yeah. So what I did was I went through the position papers for, like our current position papers, the ones that were approved during the last 5-year plan. And I just took the essence of it and I reworded it to be a little bit more plain language and easy to read. There were a lot of technical words and a lot of the position papers. So I tried to make it a little bit easier to read and make them a lot shorter. So I tried to include each one to only be about a page long. That way it was easier for us to read and, you know, it wasn't just mumbo jumbo, if I'm being honest. And then I also updated any of the data. So a lot of it were just more recent studies. So the actual information didn't change, just the sources of the information might have been updated or another study or literature had come out, but it still has the same essence of the original, yeah. So I invite you to please read them. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Stephanie. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to recommend all 6 of the position papers for the new 2027-31 state plan.
I'll make the motion.
And we need a second.
I'll second it.
It is moved and second to accept the 6 position papers for the new 2027-31 state plan. Is there any discussion from committee members? Are there any public comments?
No.
All right. You ready for the question? And the question is on if we accept all 6 position papers for the new 2027-31 state plan. When Ebony calls your name, please respond with yes if you're in favor of the motion and no if you're opposed to the motion, or abstain if you're not voting.
Ms. Juhano,
Jill, you are muted.
Yes.
Ms. Juhano, yes. Ms. Angela Harmon,
Yes.
Ms. Angela Harmon, yes. Ms. Brooke Stewart,
Yes.
Ms. Brooke Stewart, yes. Ms. Renata Washington,
Yes.
Ms. Renata Washington, yes. It's 4 yeas, 0 nays, 0 abstentions.
All right, the yes votes have it and the motion is adopted. Right. The next item of business is the consideration of a council member retreat. At the July meeting, the executive committee gave the executive director, Ms. Ebony Haven, feedback during her quarterly evaluation. That feedback included the desire to have a council member retreat. Ebony and the staff have recommended adding an extra day to the January 2025 quarterly meeting to conduct the retreat. The ultimate goal is for council members to get to know each other better and work together better as a unit. However, the staff would like more feedback on what the council would like to have at the retreat. For example, session with the Information and Technical Assistance Center for Councils on Developmental Disabilities, presentation from one of the PIP presenters. And at this time, I open the floor for suggestions to offer the council.
Okay, can I speak to the food at the celebration or the
Go ahead.
Okay, I love the options that we have, like the Outback Steakhouse. So sad I'm missing it. Very excited for that. So if we have more options like that.
In I'm trying to think, September, August, I attended the KPU work group, and just some things that with the sessions, they identified a lot of gaps in collaboration across child welfare, mental health, social security. And I just brought this graphic to show us. So I think that's something we were trying to plan, like a one-day seminar to get people all together. Remember, we had spoken about putting everything on one page, and this is the beginning of that. So this is something I think we could start doing to collaborate with everybody. And just the beginning of just getting to know who our people are in the state and beginning to have conversations with them, because they are realizing that there are gaps and major gaps if you do not belong to one organization like OCDD, you wouldn't know where to look. So they are working on that. We're working on that for the next 4 years as well. And we learned a lot in 2 days. So that could be something we can work on with collaboration with our, fellow state members. So,
So can I ask a follow-up question,
Yes.
Christie?
mhm.
So for the council retreat, if the ultimate goal is for the council members
To get
just to get to know each other, so are you saying that you want the agency representatives?
It would be just us like to begin to reach out, like, for us to get together, get to know each other, and then begin the communication process of collaborating, like who we would collaborate with in that regard, just like a beginning. Strategic, yes, strategic, I thank you,
Okay.
yes. So just like in the beginning plans. Because we really don't get to like immerse ourselves, so this would be one way to begin that process. And I can pass this around, and you can make copies for everyone. Anybody else?
Jill has a
Oh,
hand.
Jill, go ahead.
I have a question. Like,
Yes.
what do you mean who we collaborate with? Because for the most part, like, we already know what, like, well, I have two questions aligned, sorry. For the most part, we already know who we collaborate with. It's the DD network, and then our stakeholders are like OC, correct? Like
Yes.
OCDD.
But it's just some extra ones that we sometimes forget about.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, and then my next question, would this be like a personal retreat or like a like learning or like kumbaya?
Well, we can divide it up, I think, into different sessions. I mean, just as a thought. We can kumbaya at the beginning, then learn, and then, you know.
I don't kumbaya, Christy.
I know, so we can start with that, then, progress up the ladder. Yes, Kevin.
So Jill, just to kind of give more information about that, that's kind of why this was on the agenda. Because the council staff want to make sure we're planning whatever you guys are, whatever the ultimate goal is for the retreat, we want to make sure we center the planning around that. So if the goal is to, or if the goal is to learn more about what the council's role is and what your responsibilities are, we can center it around that. I guess I'm trying to get more feedback from you all, since the executive committee was the ones to make the recommendation for a council retreat, what you guys wanted to make sure you got out of the council retreat. Is it more of a kumbaya, or is it more you want information from ITAC and about the roles and responsibilities of the council members, how you guys should operate as a unit? That's what I'm trying to get more feedback from you all on.
I think like half and half. And of course, out back for Miss Stewart. Because the last retreat was more technical than I realized it was gonna be, because the last retreat was kind of all ITAC, and it wasn't a retreat as much as like a business or a business like orientation.
I think a little bit of each one would.
Yeah.
Any other suggestions? Okay. That's it? Okay.
You have a hand raised.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know if it's time to bring it up, but like, I know we only have a certain amount of time. But personally, I've been wanting to talk to the executive board about getting more training. And, you know, ITech included, as well as maybe having some, public speaking training offered to council members and maybe like CAN members to help our public testimony,
Okay,
help us feel more confident in that. If that might be something either we can offer, if not next year, but the year after. I personally would.
so public speaking and ITAL. Training.
The public speaking, maybe not at the retreat, but in the future, maybe something that we could offer council members or, yeah, we can.
Because I know even though, even though I present a lot at teacher, conferences, just to get up to go do testimony, it's, you know,
Completely different.
it's totally different. So I agree with that. You feel like you're at court.
Yeah.
So I understand.
I think a good thing for the retreat would be similar to what they do when everybody first shows up at Partners, where you have to do like a self-introduction thing, and then you it's several activities where you learn more about all your members. I know a lot of us come in here and see each other, know each other's names, and don't know anything else about anybody.
And that's what they did at the retreat, and well, when retreat, it was a working collaborative group in West Virginia. They had us sit with people we didn't know. And at the end, they put us in our states. So we didn't even know some people in our own state that were there. So it was eye-opening. So I agree. Any other suggestions or comments? Does that help, Ebony? Did y'all know?
Yeah, that.
Okay. Anything else, anybody? The next item of business is the quarterly executive director evaluation. Right. If her evaluation.
It's your actual evaluation. It's they in the bylaws and policies and procedures, a newly hired executive director has to be evaluated every quarter.
Okay, if there is no objection, we will go into executive session. Hearing none, we are now in executive session. The time